Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back. It is June 13th, and this is the Hipstrings podcast. I'm Nick.
I'm Jill, and we're Hipstrings.
So, what do we have for today?
So under Warp, Twisted, and Loopy, the first thing is I have an FO. It was your birthday this weekend, and you got socks. So these are Knit Picks Felici, just a simple sock pattern that I kind of made up. They have a little bit of ribbing at the sides. And in my typical fashion, they're knit on double zeros, and one is significantly tighter gauge than the other.
We call that one the angry sock.
I'm just so excited to get a second sock done that just tense up.
Should we call it the excited sock, not the angry sock?
That would be a lot more positive.
Yeah, and I've been already loving these and wearing them. And unfortunately, I used to have a time where I could say I didn't have to wear any machine-made socks, and then we really started Hipstrings and had our third child, and
we moved into a house that the hardwood floors ate your socks.
Yeah. Not so much, but we've experimented quite a bit with different yarns and the different durabilities of the yarns, and this Felici is actually one of the better ones.
Yeah, it holds up really well, as well as the German sock yarn, so like Regia and Opal and stuff.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of really fun colors. It's self-striping, as you can see. So this is, I think, now basically our go-to yarn. That and the phase change socks. What are those called again?
But those wear out.
They do wear out, but they're so incredibly comfortable.
Soulmate.
So Soulmate is a type of sock which has a phase change material that when they are hotter, they have higher thermal conductivity, so your feet stay cool. And when they are colder, it has a low thermal conductivity, so your feet stay warm. I have these really thick work boots that metatarsals have to use them for carrying heavy things around. But those are the only type of socks I can wear using those, because otherwise my feet overheat. All right, that's enough about socks.
Yeah.
And I don't have a finished object.
You have a cast on.
I have another cast on. We should start a pool as to which episode I do my first finished object.
Well, this needs to get finished before Rhinebeck, so.
Well, it's a race. So yeah, I am using this beautiful blue buoy yarn, the color Caribbean, to do a heart on my sleeve sweater. So you'll be able to describe it better than I will. What is heart on my sleeve?
So heart on my sleeve is a collection of patterns. We've talked about it before. All the proceeds go to malaria to provide malaria nets, and it's 8 sweater patterns by really fantastic designers. They are all knit with the same gauge, so it's all 5 stitches to the inch. So your standard DK weight gauge, which happens to be perfect for buoy. And so you get to, and it's sizes from newborn to adult. I forget what the largest chest circumference is, but really you should be able to find a sweater that fits. So it's really great if you want to do crazy ideas like ours, which is to knit a family's worth of sweaters.
The largest is a 4XL, a 59-inch bust.
So.
And the smallest is a 0 to 6 months, 17.5 inch. Yeah. So reason I'm casting this on is because, as Jill said, we as a family are having the goal of having all buoy sweaters for when we visit Rhinebeck, and we won't have a booth there or anything, but we're just going to go to have fun. Imagine that, right?
Amazing.
So this is my cast on. I cast it on this week. This is actually they suggest that you have your sleeve as your gauge swatch. So that is what I'm doing.
Did you do any ribbon?
No, I figure I'll pick that up and do it again later. I just wanted to I was excited to get to the swatching. because the swatching is the worst part, and I want to get it over with. So once I might just, do an actual swatch and get rid of it, and then
Yeah, or just rip
start
it out
again.
once you're.
So yeah, that's my my cast on.
Do you know which pattern you're going to do out of there?
Yeah. It's you're gonna make me look up the name, aren't you?
I think
It's actually
Crazy Heart.
Crazy Heart. Thank you. Everything is something heart, right? So they got Lion Heart and Crazy Heart and some other hearts. Iron Heart, Wholehearted, Tender Heart, Heartstring, Bright Heart, Heartstone.
It's like Care Bears.
Yeah. So I'm doing Crazy Heart, which is actually the one on the cover. And the way that the pattern's designed is for kids, they have the striping. For the adults, they don't have the striping. And then they have just a general guideline of what to do on the yoke. They don't actually say what colors you should use or anything. They just say use some colors. So I'm planning on mixing this with a natural color of the buoy, so the more brownish grayish, and maybe some purple as well. It's going to be a little bit flamboyant, but not too bad. Yeah. Any other questions about my sweater?
No.
Okay.
Hopefully you will cast it on the actual sweater next time.
Oh, for sure. We've got traveling to do, right?
Yes, we
And
do.
if you, we're driving down to North Carolina this weekend for a mini vacation, and the hope is that we split up the driving. And so, I was actually having a conversation with somebody about those sticker books, the adult sticker books, right?
Yeah.
Because there's adult coloring books, so why not adult sticker books, right? And they were saying, oh, so did you get some for your wife? I said, no, she knits in the car. So when we do road trips, we take turns driving or knitting. And sometimes if I forget my project, I'll work on hers.
Yep. So speaking of my current project, so I'm knitting on I guess a test knit, technically, that I designed.
Brand new pattern.
Yeah.
New to the world.
So I'm
Hold it up.
about 3/4 of the way through. And so this uses hand spun, and it uses the Peacocky Merino Silk Blend, and then the Peacocky Merino palette. And so I just have this purple plum color to go, and then the dark eggplant color. So it is a cowl. So this is the first kind of version of it.
Okay. You're too fidgety. Here, I'll hold it while you.
And then I'm also planning on including also instructions for how to do it with using a variegated yarn and then coordinating semi-solid mini skeins.
So the key point in this is that the Peacocky blend that's on the more neutral stripes, it actually has all of these colors inside of it. Mm-hmm. So the pattern, I don't know if spinning patterns are a thing, but if they're not, we'll make it a thing. But this is a full, for the spinners out there, this is a full from fiber to project.
They'll have directions to go from the fiber all the way to the finished project.
With intentions of color design and everything. And also for knitters as well. And this is, we plan to have some kits for it too, right?
Yes. Hopefully we'll have some kits for this at SSK. Would be the first time it shows up.
So I need to finish my my design. I designed a cowl too, but I'm not 100% happy with it, so I need to play around with that.
Yeah. And then another project I've been working on is, so I have this massive blanket in progress. And the goal is a queen size blanket for our bed. And so, and this has all been...
Let's just cover ourselves with the
Yeah, and
with
it's
the
actually,
blanket.
I'm showing you the wrong side.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
But it's very close to being done, but I ran out of yarn. So I'm having to spin up the last of the fleece. So this has all been from a single Cormo Cross fleece I got at Maryland Sheep and Wool about 2 years ago. So I've been spinning. And so this is spun just from washed locks. So it is a little bit rustic. It's a 3-ply yarn in the blanket, so it's about an Aran weight. And so I don't have that much more of the fleece to spin up, so I've got to spin up the rest of it, and then I will ply, and then do whatever I can to lengthen this. And then I took 24 ounces of a CVM Romeldale rovings that I have that matches the color very well, and I'm also spinning that up, and that I'll use to make the border, and it should be a fairly wide border.
That'll finish up the size.
And that'll finish up the size.
So one important thing though, there's a funky little hook sticking out of that, right?
Yeah. So
what is that? Huh?
So this is actually, it's Tunisian crochet.
Not just any Tunisian with a cable.
Yeah, so it's the Knit Picks Tunisian interchangeable set. So you have the long cable. So for making a big Tunisian crochet blanket, it's perfect, and I've been really happy with it.
And in general, Tunisian, it's
this weird hybrid between knitting and crochet.
Yeah, yeah.
So it isn't
like,
as
what
fast
is the sound
as
of one
crochet,
hand
but
clapping? What's the knit of one needle? Right? Like,
what happens when you hook with a single needle?
yeah.
Yeah. So that's been my spinning, and then I got reminded that I pledged to spin a pound of fiber this month. And I've been kind of distracted by the exciting test knitting.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shoot, I have like a pound of fiber to spin.
You still have half a month left.
I know, but I wasn't planning on bringing a wheel on our trip, but
Yeah,
now a wheel's coming.
I knew that was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I was trying to think of some small projects to spin on the sidekick so that I can return it to you at the end of the week.
Yes, please.
So
Hey,
I grabbed
down
stuff.
there for part of it.
I know, but so I grabbed 4 ounces of Hill District because I want to make an actual finished object from that yarn.
Yeah.
And then I grabbed a Blue Heron blend and the Blue Heron palette. So we'll make one of these that is not quite so bright.
It's so nice to go shopping in our own shop.
If we did not have our own shop, can you imagine what my stash would be like?
The shop is your stash.
I know. It's just a stash I share with the world.
All right. And then I think that's everything you have, right?
Yes.
And then my other working project, this one might actually be the first finished object. Right? This is a collaborative work. So this is a wheel. We're not designing a wheel or anything yet.
No. So when I was at Plyaway, I finally got to try spinning on a Louette. And I actually really liked it. I got to spin on one of the Louette S10, their concept wheel, which has all sorts of options. And then I was talking with Dave Van Stralen, who's one of the owners of Louette North America, and he was telling me about the special promotion they're doing this year, that if you take the S17, which is their like lowest end wheel, and you decorate it, and you send them a picture, they will send you $200 worth of fiber. And so I was like, well, I've been wanting to bring in some wheels into the studio. We are a Louette dealer. And they make fantastic products for weaving, which is mainly why I had gotten to be a dealer. And so I was like, oh, we need to get a wheel, and we're going to decorate it because that's what we can do.
Yeah. So what we've planned for this is we've stained the main wheel blue, and it becomes a wonderful palette, right?
Right.
So that we can put stuff on here. We're going to do vinyl decals for the front, though. The big thing that we're experimenting with, we haven't decided quite yet, is exactly what we're going to put on. We're going to take some of our spindle designs, or one of our spindle designs. So maybe we'll take one of our tiny spindles and make it full wheel size. probably one of our earlier designs, or have multiple of our spindle designs because it's kind of going on a spiral type of thing on it.
Have you seen like our fiber tags or a lot of our other branding?
Yeah.
We have a background that has a whole bunch of our different spindle designs.
Or there's two sides. Might do both. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. So we've only stained the wheel. Everything else is going to be the natural wood color. And I was still getting crap at work today for deciding while drunk in the middle of my birthday party that I needed to put together a wheel and stain it. It still seems logical to me, right? People were watching YouTube, whatever. Okay, I'm going to sit and be productive. So that's our current project.
So I'm excited about having the wheel because it'll be my first Irish tension wheel.
Yeah, so I've never used Irish tension. What's the difference?
So there's three main different types of tensioning. So in order to get twist into your fiber and to have it go onto a bobbin, you have to have the flyer and the bobbin going at different speeds. So differential rotation. So for Irish tension, your treadle and the drive wheel and your drive band are powering the bobbin and making the bobbin go around and
How's
spin.
the flyer go?
The flyer gets braked. There's a leather strap
That is bizarre.
on the flyer. Yeah.
That's completely backwards.
Exactly.
Well,
It's the complete opposite of
Don't you
Scotch.
want this to go slower than the flyer?
All that matters is it's differential. Now, the uptake on an Irish tension wheel is crazy hard. It
Okay.
wants to yank the fiber out of your
Well, yeah,
hand
because
most of
this
the
is
time.
what's
Right.
turning. Okay.
So it can be really great for making really airy yarns and fat yarns. It's easier to do. It can be easier to do like art yarns on it.
And this wheel is only going to be Irish tension.
Yes, this will only be Irish tension.
And this is as opposed to Scotch tension, where you're spinning the flyer.
You're spinning the
wheel
flyer.
is basically attached to, with the drive band to the flyer.
Yeah, you'll
and
have a
then-
whirl or a pulley.
Right, and that's attached to the flyer. And then the
Dry-
bobbin
is
is actually
braked.
on a shaft that is then braked with the
Yeah, in one of these
flyer.
grooves.
Yeah.
And that's
then
what you're
there's-
used to.
And then there's double drive,
Right.
right?
So we have a couple Scotch tension wheels. We have a Shack Sidekick and a Ladybug and my Suzy Pro. They're all standard.
Which one's Adrian's?
Oh, the Kiwi is
Yeah.
also Scotch tension. So
Yes, our 6-year-old has a wheel. Thank you, Lenora.
and Scotch is pretty easy to understand, and you can adjust the tension pretty well depending on the wheel. Some have finer adjustments than others, but.
Yeah. So talk about double drive, though.
And then there's double drive. So double drive, you have a single drive band, usually made of cotton. So it's not stretchy. And you have it in a figure 8, doubled back on itself. And one loop will drive the flyer, and one loop will drive the bobbin.
Do you control the... Oh, go ahead.
And because the pulley on the flyer is larger than the kind of section, the whirl or whatever on your bobbin has the drive band, that's how you get the differential rotation.
Yeah. Can you control that difference in speed?
You control, it ends up you can control the take-up on your bobbin by increasing the tension on the drive band.
Okay.
So
then it has more drag.
you usually have something that will move your entire, what's called the mother of all, which is your maidens and your flyer and that whole assembly on your wheel. You'll have some way to move that farther away from your drive wheel or closer.
Okay, so the flat iron is a double drive.
I have it set up as a double drive. It can be done all three ways, but I have it set up as a double drive. All the shacked wheels can do all three.
Really? I was going to say the Sidekick?
I don't think the Sidekick can. I think some people have MacGyvered it to do double drive.
it seems just like, I'm going to do this, damn it.
Right. And I have set up in double drive.
Cool.
It has the option to do in Scotch tension, but I much prefer a double drive wheel. For me, it's a lot more consistent uptake.
Well, yeah, because with Scotch tension, it depends on how loaded your bobbin is.
Bobbin is. You'll have to increase the uptake as the bobbin fills. And then there's things like the Aura, the Magikraft Aura, and also the overdrive head for Magikraft, which I have on my CC Pro, which is kind of a hybrid. It's kind of double drive, but not quite. So it does that.
It's got all sorts of gearing in there, so.
Yeah, so it uses a figured 8 drive band and tensioning, but it's a little different. But I really like it, and it might actually be my favorite tensioning system because it has that consistent pull-in that double drive has, but you can crank it a lot more. So you can get a lot greater take-up than you can with most double drive wheels. I know some friends have like CPWs that will have really strong uptake, but then it can be hard to get them to be really gentle. Whereas with the overdrive head, you can get really gentle uptake as well as really strong uptake. And I think really that's the most versatile tensioning system of any wheel that I've tried.
Okay. Well, if you couldn't tell, that part was knowledge is power. I
Yes.
guess we didn't introduce that. And what I will say is that at some point in time, we're going to be making some educational videos out of stuff. So if you want to see more details of this, maybe some videos about, since we have wheels that'll do all of them, if you want to see videos about what each thing is, let us know. Send us an email, put something in the comments, find us on Ravelry. We, as you can tell, like talking about this stuff. So next is in the studio.
So as we mentioned, we're going on a trip. And so my parents decided to build a house and so in Western North Carolina. It so happens to be about 10 minutes away from the John C. Campbell Folk School. And so a benefit of that is the John C. Campbell Folk School has what they call Little Folk School. So they have classes in crafts for kids ages 7 and up. So our daughter got to go last year, and she'll get to go again this year. Next year, her brother will get to join her. And so she got to take like weaving and felt and clay and beading last year. She's taking like surface design and I think felting again and basket weaving and I forget what her 4th class is this year.
And surface design is a weird term for cloth dyeing.
Yeah,
right?
Like tie-dye and batik and stuff like that. So it's her chance to be among other makers for a week.
Yeah. They have this great logo and saying, what is it? We still make things?
Yeah.
Which all of you do too, so be proud. It's a great way of, they need to sell bumper stickers or something, because that's a great phrase.
And so Gab, she doesn't get to take any really supplies this year, but last year she took her own hand spun for weaving class.
She was so proud.
And she got to show off to her teachers and everything, and all the other kids in like the knitting class and weaving class are all there with their big skeins of red heart. There's our daughter with her.
I shouldn't laugh about red heart.
With her hand-spun skein and some Fat Cat knits fiber that she had spun up. And so she really wanted to bring all handmade materials, but she doesn't need them this year. So
Too bad.
Yeah.
Maybe we can see if she can weave something up quickly for the surface design, if she needs some fabric for that.
Well, but it's like t-shirt and stuff.
Yeah, well.
She could sew herself a t-shirt.
She
I
could
don't
sew
think
herself a
that's
t-shirt.
She's not keen on garment sewing yet.
Yep.
So, but we'll be back, and the online shops will be closed next from June 17th to the 25th because I don't want to make you, well, technically, yes, I'm making you wait, but I don't want you to put an order in and then have to wait a week before I can ship it. But I think both the websites, if you let them, they'll send you an email to let you know when we're back.
So many people cold shipping
open.
right now. I think it's okay. Let's let them.
It's time to hunker down and get ready for Tour de Fleece.
Yeah, yeah.
So our next open studio will be July 1st. And then mostly schedule resumes as normal in July, except we will be traveling again for the Super Summer Knit Together. We will be vending at the SSK Marketplace on July 22nd in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'll be attending the retreat from the 19th to the 23rd. So Nick gets to hang out with the kids in Nashville.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to help showing off at the vending as well. Right?
So we'll both be in the booth, which is very rare to have both of us in the booth at the same time.
So if you get a chance to stop by, be sure to say hi.
Yes, and so the marketplace is open to the public. I forget whether or not there's a marketplace pass. But even if you aren't attending the retreat, you can still get into the marketplace if you're local to the Nashville area.
Yeah. Or if you're not local, I mean, encourage people to travel. This is a big deal. There's quite a few.
It's a really good marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
We forgot to talk about Waynesburg again.
Well, we can talk about Waynesburg now.
So Waynesburg went well. We really enjoyed meeting all the people that came there. And one of the best things was we kept on being told by many people that, oh, did you see all these projects won with Hipstrings fiber and Hipstrings yarn, and I think in like 2 or 3 categories it was first place, and in some cases second place as well was Hipstrings products.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody who actually uses our stuff and
we really
entered in
appreciate the
competitions.
support of our local community.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see the stuff that you guys make. I mean, I consider myself creative, and I can't even imagine some of the stuff that you guys make. So we love seeing, even if it doesn't win a prize, we love seeing what you guys do.
I know. The highlight of any day is when somebody posts something on Instagram or Ravelry or our Facebook of what they've made with our tools, our fiber, or our yarn. That is the highlight of our day.
When we see it, both of us will literally stop everything, go to the other one, and say, hey, check out what somebody made with their stuff. Yeah, it's thank you seriously. And also,
we should talk about Indie Knit and Spin.
What about Indie Knit and Spin?
The vendor applications are now open.
Vendor applications are now open, and now I can talk about the weird thing we're doing.
Yes.
Okay, so for I'm too excited about this. For Indie Knit and Spin, right? It's the Pittsburgh show that we're in charge of, and we have done a couple of new things this year. We're staying in the same location just to make sure we have some continuity.
Which is the Wilkins School Community Center in Regent Square in Pittsburgh. Yeah. And the date for Indie Knit and Spin is November 11th.
Yep. And we've done a couple of different things, though. We've opened an additional room for vendors, so there is more space. If you've wanted to be in before but weren't able to because we ran out of space, well, now there's more space. The other big thing is if you want to start showing at a show, but you don't really have a big booth, or you don't think you've got enough, or you don't want to travel to Pittsburgh, but you still want to sell stuff to the Pittsburgh community, we have something called a pop-up shop, or the pop shop, or I'm not sure what the final name is going to be, but the idea is that we will have a little consignment area, basically, where you will send us stuff. We'll have somebody manning or womaning the area to do all the credit card and cash receiving, and you can buy basically a grid board or rent a grid board worth of space to show your stuff, whatever it is, yarn, fiber, supplies, beads,
Hand
buttons,
spun,
hand spun
patterns.
So that's a good way to empty out your stash. You got a lot of
Yeah.
hand spun, right? Make up a shop name. Send us a couple of skeins. We'll put it up there for you. So I think the website is indieknitandspin.com.
Yes. Yes.
Or is it Pittsburgh Indian and Spin?
No, it's Indian.
indieknitandspin.com. And the vendor applications are linked to from there. If you have
They're open through July 15th.
yeah,
So
and
we're reconsidering everybody.
yeah, and we will be giving it. What day did we say that we'll be making announcements by?
I think August 1st.
August 1st. So yeah, we're going to just take 2 weeks to go through all that. We've had a lot of good applications. Thank you everyone who's applied, but we definitely still have room. So please send in your applications. If you've got any questions, feel free to contact us.
We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. And we're opening up a knitting lounge.
Yeah,
or
we're
a
opening it.
craft
For those of you
lounge.
who've been there before, there's been these like mysterious rooms on the first and second floor. So the first floor is where the pop shop is going to be. When you just walk in the door, and right in front of you there's that mysterious door. Well, that's where the pop shop will be. In the same location on the second floor, there's another mysterious room, and that's just going to have a couch. There's really nothing in there right now except for maybe some artwork, and we figure we want people to hang out. We want more people to be able to stay there for a while and knit and talk and meet each other and think about your purchases and go buy more. And so yeah, we kind of want to open it up a little bit more for everybody.
And we have a couple other surprises that we'll announce
Yeah,
along the way.
when it's ready.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I'm going to pull you back. All right. And yeah, I think that's everything for Knit and Spin.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Also, we had
One more thing.
a ton of it's not that good, but we had a ton of people come to the BYOB Craft Night, and they brought a wonderful wine which the name is escaping me, but it has sheep on it. So I'll throw in a picture. And yeah, so thank you to the people that showed up. We had an absolutely full BYOB Craft Night, and it was really fun. And I hope to have many more of those. So yeah, have a great 2 weeks.
You sure about that?
What?
You sure you're done?
Yes, I'm done now. Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. See you later.
See ya.